Hello and welcome to the Creative Return. If you are new here, my name is Kelly Ferguson. Today I am walking through my Passion Planner and starting to set it up for 2026. So this is likely going to be a two-part video because there's a lot that I do to set up my planner. I'm going to turn the camera around to the craft table and we'll get started. So this is my new Passion Planner. This is the one from last year, and since it was the year of the snake, I thought this cover was particularly appropriate. And this year I went with more of a garden theme and celestial theme because this year to me feels like more about embracing the mystery, but also returning to nature, my true nature, and really connecting with nature. So I do tend to pick covers that go along with the theme that I'm feeling into for the new year. So that's kind of what that is. These ribbons I tend to not like, and so that is one of the first things I do is I clip those. I do save them for other journaling stuff, but I just don't enjoy them in my planner. So that's number one. The second thing I do is I put in the monthly tabs, and that is something I've already done. I also use paper clips and stuff to easily turn to the pages I'm needing. And so these are just actually not that necessary for me, but I get them and I put them in anyway. So that's what that's about. Okay, and then I start with the core values exercise. And how I do this, it asks you to rate these different words from 1 to 3, 1 being not as important, 2 sometimes, 3 very important. So how I interpret this, because it's not that you don't consider responsibility important, it's just that, does it feel like it's an active word that resonates with you as you're moving into this next year? What I'm going to start doing is putting down the 3s after you've gone through the 2s to see if there are any that you need to keep as a 2 or belong in the 3. Just kind of revisit that belonging in terms of like, if there's a 2 and a 3 that are similar, which one resonates with you the most? Just do a double check on that. This is asking you to choose 3 core values that are the most important to you. Star or highlight them. And if you're struggling to narrow down your values, use the space below to group similar together. So that's what I'm going to do before narrowing down to the top 3. So authenticity and truth kind of line up to be similar for me. I'm resonating more with authenticity, so I'm going to cross that one out. Balance and harmony. Balance, harmony are similar. And I'm going to say harmony feels more of a resonant to me. Belonging, connection. I'm going to say belonging actually resonates with me more. Confidence and maybe like self-expression are kind of, well, self-expression and creativity for sure. And I think for me, self-expression resonates more right now. Okay, actually, health and well-being, I've already decided that well-being resonates more. Freedom, fun, I would say fun, gratitude, and harmony. Let's see. I'm going to say, that's a tough one. So, okay, leadership, making a difference. I'm going to say leadership, I'm feeling strongly about stepping more into that. So I'm going to say, and sometimes you can make a difference through leadership. Nature feels good. And I would say nature over wealth. I think this is a big word for me this year, so I'm going to circle it. Nature and belonging are feeling pretty strong. Harmony and well-being. This is something you just kind of have to feel into when it comes to narrowing these words down. So I think these 7 words are kind of my top from this list. So I'm going to write them down. Something that has been coming up for me, especially in the last month, is a lot around trust, and the creative return is all about really honoring our core nature. And so nature feels really strong to me. It could be one of my core values. It can also be like nature, like connecting with nature, and like myself as like more of a gardener and not a machine, you know? So I think nature honestly is going to be one of my top core values this next year. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Nature. And then, and I also think that when you're connected to nature and your nature, more harmony is experienced. So that's why I'm going to say no to the harmony as one of my top 3. Now, leadership, confidence, and self-expression, I think it's going to be a toss-up between leadership and confidence. Like, I'm really feeling like I'm being asked to step more confidently into who I am and my gifts and my strengths, and like stop second guessing myself a lot, you know? So, and I think the more I embody confidence, the more I'll take in and on leadership roles and like see myself as a leader and be more self-expressed. So I'm going to say confidence seems to be the standout here. Okay. Confidence. Okay, now with these 3, belonging, trust, and well-being. Belonging, I guess, resonates, like I tend to really value like connection, community, things like that, but there's another level of feeling like you actually belong. Trust, yes, this channel is a lot about cultivating self-trust. And so this is super strong. Well-being really is about honoring my well-being, my rhythms, my patterns, obviously taking care of my mental, emotional, and physical well-being. That kind of encompasses all of that. And I think this is more of a background thing for me. Like, it's important this year for sure. And I think belonging is actually calling. I mean, these are all very important and kind of are going to be woven throughout the year. But in terms of top 3, I think belonging is another one. Okay. Now, once you have chosen your 3 core values, take some time to reflect on each one and why it's important to you. And how do you embody this value in your life now? And what are 3 specific ways you can embody this value more in the upcoming year? So that I will do off camera and take time to do that. But hopefully you get a sense of like kind of how I talk to myself through this process and this exercise to come up with the top 3 core values. It's good to revisit like you know, again, I like having this list here of the values that were in your top 10, this is what, six, seven, eight. These are my top 8. And yeah, I like using this space just to kind of see which other ones were up for contention for my top 3, because these also will play a role throughout the year, but are just not part of the top 3 that I'm wanting to focus on. And then sometimes people choose like a word of the year. And I think nature is going to be like my one primary word for the year. That one feels right. So, okay. Let's see. Now this one, am I going to do this today? The Passion Roadmap. So I think I need to do one other exercise before I visit this. These stickers, by the way, were in the back of the planner. They just came, I think, as extras in this little pocket here. So be sure to look at your pocket in the back to see what free stickers you got. And I'm actually going to do something special with the pocket this year. I'm going to write myself a letter and tuck it in here to read at the end of next year. So I really like that idea. Okay, now before I go through this mapping process, I think I want to do a little bit more journaling and reflecting. And I'm using these prompts by Minette Riordan, A Softer Ending, 16 end of the year reflection prompts. Now, she has a disclaimer not to share these prompts, and so I'm not going to, but I will direct you to where you can find them and download them for yourself. This was a free PDF. So I really like her questions and prompts, and I use them often for the different collages I do throughout the year. And so there are a few in here that I want to journal through before filling this in. And then that will also inform the vision board as well. Another thing I can do immediately is start transferring important dates from last year, like any birthdays, big events, things like that I know are scheduled and have dates planned. Then I can put those down and write those in. So that's probably another step I will do as well. I'm going to end it here for today. I hope that gives you a start to planning, getting your planner set up for 2026. This is a process. It's just how it is. It takes me some time to really plan it out and get it set up. So over the next 2 weeks, things like prompts and journaling and doing the core values exercise, these are all good things to do to get you prepared to filling in your planner and getting it set up. We will continue this in another video, and until then, keep trusting your way back to yourself.